Wow. Hello. Welcome, everyone, to the Showboys podcast. I'm Pixel Nick, and joining me tonight is Sad Dad. Sad
Said
Dad, how are you
that
doing?
I am doing wonderful. How are you, Nick?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. We're like the quadruple eve of Christmas
That's
Eve.
right.
I
That's right.
learned last year that people like do the eve of Eve, like Christmas Eve Eve.
Yeah,
I was very confused by that concept. So now I guess we are like two, three eves removed.
yeah.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm excited for this negative 40-degree like wind chill that's
It's gonna
like
be
sweeping
brutal.
everything. Yeah, we're setting out like late morning tomorrow, like in it, which will be fun.
Oh,
Doing a little trek up north into the snow belt,
into it.
right?
You're going
Into
into
it.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. We are
Oh,
going from here to somewhere where there's more of here. Going right into the storm. It'll be fun.
right in the
Turn the
heart
four
of
wheel
it.
drive on.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be good. I don't
It'll
even
be
think it's
fun.
gonna be that bad. I think it's just gonna be like wickedly cold, and once it gets too cold, it's less likely to snow.
Right. And that's what I did hear is that it's just supposed to be super cold, like -12 or something like that.
Yeah, like
'Cause
the straight up temperature will be like -1, 0, but it's that
Yeah,
wind chill
it's
apparently
that
because it's
wind,
gonna
man.
be windy,
Like
dry and
blizzard.
windy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long time since it's been this cold. And crazy thing is, like, it's everyone mostly in the U.S. Unless you're like on the West Coast, is or Florida. Like those are the only places that are safe. Like Arizona, Coast, and Florida.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Even
even
Texas.
like yeah. Mississippi, Alabama hitting
It's like 20 degrees in Houston right now.
that's crazy. No,
Like
thank
things are
you.
freezing in Houston. Normally things flood
They
in
probably don't know
Houston.
what to do. They're like, "Oh my gosh, we've never seen this before."
Yep, just stay home.
Well, that's like I have a friend that lives in North Carolina and like they get any amount of snow and they're like shutting down schools everywhere cuz they don't have salt trucks.
Yeah, right. They don't need them. They don't. Yeah, I mean, it melts with it. It doesn't stay like here, so
Right, but
they're
they're
okay with
freaking
it.
out at that, as soon as it
Yeah,
happens.
everyone just stay home for a day or two there till it blows over, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
cool.
good
Before
luck.
we get
Good
going,
luck to you.
yeah, no, it'll be good. I'll have fun. I don't get to use like the four-wheel drive in the truck. Like
Yeah, you
it,
you got to do it.
winter is when I get to have that fun. So
There
I
you
look
go.
forward to it.
Perfect opportunity.
Got all the presents packed in the back of the truck. So I'm
Perfect.
basically like Santa's sleigh. That's what I do.
You wouldn't have wanted to do that tomorrow morning. That would have sucked. Freezing, like trying to get the presents in the truck.
No, yeah, they're already packed up.
Yeah,
It's
that's
all.
good. That's good.
I have an avalanche, so the bed
Oh,
is
okay.
completely like sealed and everything.
Yeah,
So it's
those are
basically
nice.
like a big trunk.
Yeah, yeah,
You can nap back there if
you
only there was
could.
heat.
Would not be a fun drive.
No,
Not at
not
all.
at all.
Oh
Um,
man.
gonna shout out the top tier patrons. Right,
Yes.
we got old Bim, Yusuf H, and our one and only Joe Cross, the man
Yes.
himself. Um, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. And obviously, shout out all the other patrons. You guys are also great as well. We actually just released our December patron episode
We did.
today because we recorded it last night. It was a long one, which is a little abnormal, but it was, I think it's like our third, like behind the scenes type episode. We like to do those every once in a while, but this one was definitely fun to see our planning madness
No,
for
it was
March.
absolute madness for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely sign up, become a patron. See, I think there's a backlog of 16 exclusive patron episodes these days. So sign up, check that out, and then you'll get a sneak peek into what we're planning for March, which will be fun.
A lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm surprised we made as much progress as we did last night. We just kept going. We're in the
We couldn't
groove.
stop. We couldn't stop. It's a good time.
In the groove. Found our pocket. Um, now there's just a lot of shows to watch.
Oh, yes. So many
Well,
shows.
when Mike said like, "Oh, we can start watching some of these," and I was thinking, for some reason, I had the thought like they were movies. Like I completely forgot like their shows,
Right?
and I was like, "Oh yeah, movies." I was like, "That's
No,
doable. I can get a few." I'm like, "Oh, shows? Yeah, probably not."
no. Some of those are like 5 seasons more.
Eh, maybe maybe there's some of them that are like a quick season. The newer ones,
Yeah.
that those might be good to to put in there and cruise through. But here's the problem: he's got me all like hyped up to start watching The Chosen. Right, the
Yeah.
first 2 seasons are now on Netflix. I kind of want to watch that,
Yeah.
especially after we saw the ratings on it that you pulled.
Yeah. Yeah. And it looks really good.
Oh, look, we got
Really
Derpy
good.
501st. Thanks for popping in. Keep your
Hello.
change, you filthy animals, and happy new year. Happy new year to you as well. Thanks for
Yes,
popping in.
sir.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I am dreadfully behind on like RPGs I want to play.
Mm.
And I'm just slowly chipping through like already a handful that I have, and then there's ones I haven't started, and then there's ones I just have not bought, like particularly Horizon, Forbidden
Mm-hmm.
West. I need to buy that and play it sometime next year. Would be nice. A
Uh,
nice goal of mine.
a buddy of mine at work gave me a code to download it, and
Nice.
it still has not been activated. But I loved the first one so much, so I definitely need to get on that because I love that game. Everything about that game was, oh, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good,
But
so good.
I've been creeping through Red Dead Redemption 2. On
Mm-hmm.
chapter 3 of that now. This is my first playthrough. So enjoying that. And I that's definitely one I want to just like play through all the way and
Yeah.
just enjoy the story. And that game just is so well paced.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I really like about it. It's kind of relaxing, but then it has that, those sparks of excitement that show up.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the Wild West, man. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah. They do a really good job in terms of like really putting you in the period piece of 1899.
Oh, Michael.
Self, Michael, Courtney, Merry Christmas to you too. The eve of the eve of the eve. And is Chad Kinsey dead? Yes, Chad Kinsey is. In fact, he's not really dead. No one.
He's just MIA.
He's just missing. I believe him and his son. They
Yep.
streamed their. I think rest of their Madden season, and
Mm-hmm.
they've gone undefeated or something like that.
Again, yes.
Wow, that's up on Showboys Gaming YouTube. So
Dude,
definitely go check
that's
that out. I think they went through the whole season. I think I haven't caught any of it, but I definitely have seen them been going through their at least yearly Madden season. I feel like they might do a few. They definitely enjoy doing that. That's a cool concept.
it is. I watched them play um at the last part of their Super Bowl. The last Super
Mm.
Bowl they did. It was cool. It was fun watching, fun listening to them talk. Um yeah, it's a good time for sure.
Yeah, all kinds of little things going on about. And like I said, Chosen, Mike, in the nerdybible.com. They've been cruising through the Chosen series. They just released their episode 1 and 2 recap of season 3. So I'm staying away from all that because like I said, I want to start watching that show.
Yeah.
And maybe we can weave. I want to start weaving that in the new year because right now we're going through The Crown still,
Mhm.
but we're like halfway through season 3. Um, Definitely enjoying that. Season 3 is a lot different than season 1 and 2. Not just the fact that there's an actor change, but also just like the way they do the episodes.
Mhm.
Very like anthology feeling.
Okay.
Like they're linear, but you could almost watch them without watching the other ones because they're almost like independent like stories of something that happened in
Would
England.
you like compared to not the genre, but like American Horror Story, how like every season's different?
No, it's not quite like that.
Okay.
but it just has a different feel to it. But I think that's just because the way the story's unfolding, right? It's less about her becoming she's a young new queen, and now she's an established kind of like middle-aged queen. So
Okay.
it's less
Okay.
about like her development and upcoming as a queen, and more of her just kind of going through the motions of being a queen in
Okay.
otherwise wild times.
Sounds
But yeah,
interesting.
yeah, no, it's a good show. Gotta love those period pieces.
Yeah, they're definitely fun.
Maybe I'll get into some westerns to like go with my Red Dead Redemption playthrough.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, for sure.
I guess that
Yellowstone,
would. I guess. Well, wait. Is the like prequel to Yellowstone 1899? Is that also, or what's it called?
1883.
Oh, okay. It'd be cool if it was the same year as Red Dead is set.
That'd be awesome,
Be like, well, just put those like they need a mod to put those characters in Red Dead.
right? There's another Western, I believe, with Harrison Ford. Does that sound familiar to you?
There probably is. That sounds like something he'd be doing.
Right. I was scrolling through one of the many streaming
I mean,
services.
there's that one with Daniel Craig where it's like space cowboys. There's
Cowboys
like
and
aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah, cowboys and
Yeah,
aliens. But that's probably not what you're thinking of.
1923. That sounds right. I don't know.
Once again,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the one with Harrison Ford. Yep.
what? 1923?
Yeah,
Oh,
1923.
okay. Is that newer or older?
That is newer. Came out this year. It's a show.
I am behind. Maybe I'll start
Yeah.
watching that.
It's
Shoot.
got good ratings
What's
on
that on?
Paramount Plus.
That Paramount, man.
I
They're
know.
sneaking. They're sneaking up. They're
What you call
muscle in.
them? What do you call that? Last night you called them the streaming service for boomers or something like that.
Oh yeah. The Boomer service.
Service, yeah.
I think that's just because
Westerns.
just so Westerns. Just so many people love Yellowstone, and like that's like their first big hit. And if they're gonna slide through with 1923, like that's their niche.
Yeah. Hey, own it.
Own it. None of the other services are doing it, so
Oh, they're all
find your
over the
pocket
place.
and run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. But yeah, speaking of that, good old Disney Plus reviving a little gem here, bringing Tim Allen out of the woodwork and putting Santa Coat back on for
Yes.
the Santa Clauses series, right? I like that this is a nice little 6-episode series. I told you it was that long because you watched it in what, 2 days, 3 days?
I watched it in a day, basically.
Oh, good job.
Yeah. I mean, they're only half-hour long episodes, so it's no problem at all to burn through those.
I didn't even pay attention like how long they were. Like the first 3 we kind of watched is like just like in the evening as a family. So like I was half paying attention because the kiddos like running around.
Right.
But then the last 3, my wife and I actually like sat down and like watched them, paid attention. And I think that was important because the last 3 were definitely the better ones, the good ones where kind of everything clicks.
I would agree with that. Yeah. It definitely made a push towards something, and it was definitely good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the random references to like the prior movies.
Yeah.
Even like slightly suggesting like, yeah, they probably weren't like the greatest, like 2 and 3. Like there's a reference to Jack Frost, the crazy guy in the North Pole he let in.
brief little mention.
Yeah. Yeah, but as a whole, I mean, I definitely enjoyed the series. I know Jordan, our very own Jordan. He definitely enjoyed the series. He loves Tim Allen. I believe on Twitter he called him a national treasure.
Oh wow.
Which I can't argue with that. I mean, Tim Allen might be worthy of being considered a national treasure.
He is something pretty special, I will say. I mean, I loved him in Home Improvement. I loved Last Man Standing.
I need to
Um,
watch that.
oh, it's so good. It's he takes a lot of jabs, and I kind of I picked up on that in this series with him coming back as Santa Claus. Like he just made his like perfect little one-liners. Um,
Hmm.
and they weren't over the top. I felt like they were pretty good, pretty spot on.
Yeah, and he gets he gets those nice little one liners in, and those are spot on. But my wife tried to verbalize this, and it's a hard thing to verbalize.
It
And
it is.
her issue is even like the last 2 and 3 Santa Claus movies, like they just don't have that 90s appeal that the first one had, right?
Yeah.
And how that humor worked, and how like even like the corny like stuff that happens in all of them is fine, but like for whatever reason doing that now, like I don't know if it's just like direction or just like the setup, like the like
Yeah.
authenticity just really isn't there, because like they're almost doing the same thing, but it just doesn't land the same.
Right. Are you talking about 2 and 3, the movies?
No,
Or
and
are
the
you talking about
series,
in the series? Yeah,
most of the
yeah.
series, yeah.
Yeah. I I liked like I it took me back to when I first watched the first one. Um and it just brought back all these memories, and my kids love the movies and I'm like, we got to watch this series, guys. You love these movies. Um but yeah, there were definitely some misses. Um but I really really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good, pretty solid. Even though it
Yeah,
didn't do very well critically.
the series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got ratings out for it already. Nah, not even needed. You don't even need to critically rate like a series like this. Like it has
No.
one purpose, and
It
it
delivered.
fulfills its purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no need to overcomplicate it with like a critic review. Like, what do you
Right.
want from it?
Yeah.
Um,
They were very clear with what they were trying to accomplish and they did it.
yeah, and I don't know what like my wife did not like Noel, like his
No.
demeanor or like the way or no, like I don't know if it was the actor or like the way they wrote that character. I mean, I can agree with her. Like something just like was a little off there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I did like him.
Well, you got to
Um,
think about it. They're elves, so of course they're going to
right,
be childish and kind of like over the top.
right.
Um, you're excited about Christmas all freaking year long, you know. you you're
Until
bound to
it's
be a
every day.
little until it's every day, right, right, and then you start vanishing. Um, I I did feel that way too, like he was over the top, but I still enjoyed his character because it was innocent. He
Hmm.
loved Santa. He wanted to be with Santa. Like he was his idol, basically.
Yeah,
So much so that he went to find him. He went after him because he knew that, he was needed. So I
right.
don't know. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I think it was maybe it's part. I don't know, like the crying, like the moments where he likes pouting or crying, like it's just like over the top, or just
Yeah. Yeah.
not necessary. But yeah,
What's crazy
that was
about that
I
is
liked
they're
his
like,
wife though. His wife was awesome. I like
oh,
that
she was
character a
she
lot.
was great. Yeah, yeah. Well, like it's crazy to think about because they're a lot like little kids, right? But they've been around for hundreds of years. So
Right,
why are you acting like a kid still? Like, cause they were married for what,
999. They're
900
coming up on their
years?
thousandth. Yeah, there's their
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
thousandth year coming up.
Like, dang, and you're still acting like a 5-year-old. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, he
But
seemed
hey,
a little extra stuck. Because the other elves didn't like do that as much. Like he seemed more over top compared to the other elves, who are pretty
he
like
he
straight
did,
edge and like even
especially
keel.
especially his wife. She was super like, this is. I mean, she's basically the boss. I mean, she ran the elves.
Hmm. And
Um,
maybe they wrote him to be like her opposite, right?
opposites do attract.
Yeah, Yeah, I like her. I love that idea. Like there is a head elf, and like kind of
Yeah.
is like the law keeper, the rule keeper, and
The
even keeps like
enforcer.
Santa in check.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
like when the new Santa basically is like, well, you're fired. I was like, well, there has to be like a rule somewhere that says you can't do that.
Right. Who's
Just doing
gonna?
their job.
Yeah. Yeah. He totally lost himself.
Yeah, he started off fine, and
He
then
start. I mean, good intentions, man. And then you get a little bit of power, and it's over. And you start
yeah,
firing elves.
yeah, I like the I like what they I love the like satire on eccentric tech billionaires, right?
Yeah.
Like that's essentially what they're doing there with him. Is basically like, yeah, if an eccentric tech billionaire became Santa,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, basically drones delivering presents instantly all the time everywhere. Like
All the time.
that's just bad. Like we don't need that. No one needs that.
No. No.
It's not the getting, it's the giving.
It's the giving. Absolutely. What's his name? Cal Penn. That
Yes.
was Simon.
Now am I getting him confused with what else is he in? He's in like a ton of stuff.
Harold and Kumar, White Castle.
Right. But like
Um,
since then. Or is that primary? I might be getting him. Actually, I'm getting him confused with someone else.
it says he was in Smile.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's right.
Cal Penn. What am I thinking? Yeah, Harold Kumar, obviously. That's really about it. Well,
Yeah.
Designating Survivor, he was in. He's in some stuff in House. So that's funny. He could, Harold Kumar becomes Santa Claus.
Becomes Santa.
It's not that kind of show.
It's not that kind of show. Nope.
Not that kind of show.
It's
But that's I think so where maybe the first half of the series is kind of like you said, kind of set up and is kind of meanders a bit. Definitely the name of this episode, what's the Yule-Verse, what I kind of wanted to drive at
Mhm.
on the episode here. I love that episode 5, but
It was good. Real
you
good.
know, 4, 5, and 6, and then 6, right? Obviously hits on all the like closing ideas, right? It's not the getting, it's the giving, right? Christmas spirit, all that stuff. And I think that they did do a good job kind of like bringing that all in, wrapping it all up. And keeping like that's the thing. It's like you don't need a critic review of this show. Like we all know how it ends. What the point is. The point is like really, really simple. And it's not really much about how you get there or how you do it. It's just the fact that it gets made.
Yeah.
And if it's done within context of like the Santa Claus and it's Tim Allen being Santa, that's the thing. Though I did like the world building.
Yes.
Always love the
Yeah.
world building.
Very, very well done.
And that's really what that episode 5 digs into. And then like the bonus on that was the incorporation of his children, right? And like how they play into the picture and the plan, if anything. So that I thought was cool. And then he gets like his whole family moment where they all spend Christmas together.
Yeah.
Doing their parts.
Yep. Absolutely.
What I did think was over the top was Mrs. Claus fighting the tin soldiers or whatever. That was definitely over the top.
Yeah, that was yeah, that was I had to chuckle when I saw that because she knows kung fu. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And I think he even made the comment like someone John Wick
Yeah.
these guys in the room.
It's like a very circular reference there. She's like doing kung fu, but then get the John Wick reference.
Yeah. They actually go ahead.
I expected her to do something like more clever than just like beat them up by force. And then like magically, like they're all just like knocked out all over the place.
Right.
I expected a more clever like resolution there she would find, but instead she just beat them all up.
They had to have some action in this, I guess. You know.
Yeah, because Tim Allen doesn't really just do any action. He just kind of like stands and like even like in the hallway scene, like he never moved.
No,
he never had to.
he like when they were facing off with the coat.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, they kind of like ran at each other, but that was it. He didn't like throw any punches or anything. But
I did like how new Santa Cal Penn how they did do a good job like him slipping into his like madness and like evil because like
yeah,
he did become like a pretty like mean character there, like just
he
when he tells his daughter to like buzz off. I'm like, oh, don't do it, man.
and he did. He
Full
did.
circle.
That's those those big tech people. They get their heads
They're
puffed.
busy.
They're puffed up, and that's all they want is results, and they're gonna drive elves to disappear when they don't follow the rules or whatever, and they don't have the results that they want.
And then the semi-sentient drones that
Yeah,
have feelings.
right.
That was interesting. I didn't expect that.
I didn't either.
That was abnormal. Usually there is like a technical solution to like flipping them to your side or something like that. Instead, his son just kind of like talks to them,
Talks them down,
levels with them. Maybe that's a special power of his, like how he can know what like everyone wants. He's just like hyper empathetic, even for programmed drone bots.
And he knows where the vortexes are, and
yeah,
and
they prefer to be called UAVs.
Yeah. I liked that his sister could talk to animals. That was pretty neat. Like, I liked that they had their own special thing.
Right.
Because back in episode 5, the Santas told him that they have something special, or basic in a roundabout way, that they all have something, like some kind of magic or special ability. I thought that was kind of neat because they were just humans, like.
Yeah. And then there's Charlie. He made a brief appearance at the beginning, like he's just living his life. He's just like, no, I don't want to be Santa. I'm cool with that, Dad. But I like how there's Charlie in like the real world, but then there is his other kids with Miss Claus at the North Pole. So that's like an interesting family dynamic.
Yes.
Step bro Charlie.
Yep. And he was like, the North Pole is no place to raise kids.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's kind of
nothing against you, Dad, but
yeah, I mean, you've only been doing it for 28 years, so sorry.
It's not gonna work.
And I was wondering when it started, is Charlie gonna make an appearance? Because they didn't mention him at all.
Right.
For a while, and then he finally mentioned him, and I was like, are they gonna bring back the same character? Which I believe they did. Was that the same boy?
Yeah, I would like to think so. I didn't even think about that. I just assumed it was like.
I mean, it looked like him. Yeah,
fooled me.
Yep, it is.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
That's cool.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing is like Bernard. Spoiler alert.
Right.
That's not advertised at all, but like he makes a reappearance. I like that he married a human, lost his immortality, and kind of went the whole Aragon marrying an elf thing, but in reverse.
Right.
But yeah, so episode 5 is super cool. And I believe it's even called like Into the Yule-Verse. And
don't call it that.
Yeah, that was actually really funny to me, was that Tim Allen was just big on we got to call it something like the Yule-Verse. He's like, stop calling it that. And then he ends up calling it that. They
Yeah,
try to think of like some other names to call it, but man, like the Yule-Verse just kind of sticks.
it does. It does. He even mentions it to his kids, and they're like,
What?
"What? Don't call it that." And then they were like spitballing other names.
I mean, it's worth workshopping, but easiest way to look at it. It's this like Loki dimension, the timekeeper dimension of just all the Santa Clauses.
Right, right. I thought yeah, that part was really, really, really cool.
Yeah, and maybe that's where like I like episode 5 so much because it kind of really steps it out of like like the usual like goofiness, makes it a little meta, and even like Bernard with the clicker, like I thought that was a funny bit.
Right?
He's like, Tim Allen's like, I need that, I need one of those.
I need one of those. Yes.
Pause,
Don't we all need one of those?
pause, the family. Crazy thing is, it just pauses them. You know what I mean? Like time and
Yeah.
everything else goes on, which is that's the only unfortunate thing about that thing. It's just like the however long I keep you paused, like you just lost that time.
Yep. Yep.
So
That
that's not
time doesn't
nice.
stop.
But
Right.
that was cool. So yeah, we see a lot of versions. Basically, this Yule-Verse is the whole premise here. Is Bernard is trying to convince. Let's see here. Trying to convince Santa Claus, Tim Allen, that it wasn't
Scott.
an accident that he became Santa Claus. Scott
Right.
obviously thinks like it was completely random,
Mhm.
but I think he had that little epiphany there where it's like, oh yeah, Santa wouldn't have just fallen off of a roof. Like that's a silly like thing to think, and like he knows that because he is Santa. Like Santa's not just going to fall off a roof, so that's where they kind of got him. And was like, do you think he just fell off by accident and you just happened to become Santa? No.
Yet he did. Scott fell off, but it was it was potentially by his own doing because he was kind of losing himself at that point.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of like a flashback to
What happened
what
to
he
him?
walked into.
But I don't know if they knew about that. Like I don't know if Bernard knew that happened to him because he wasn't around.
Right.
Let's see here. Derpy 501st. Love your name. So good. Last Airbender cartoon fans. I have seen
Love it. Love it.
I've seen that, and I've also seen Korra, Legend of Korra.
Mhm.
I enjoyed that as well. Is there Santa themes in there? I don't think so. Maybe Dave Filoni might have snuck some in. I don't know.
There might be some snow somewhere.
Definitely
some
some
ice.
snow. Definitely some snow.
It's close enough. It's a Christmas show.
That was actually yeah. That's what I liked about Core was the world building. That was definitely cool. We can just talk about Last Airbender now.
Yeah, yeah.
What's he saying here? From what I just saw, we could potentially be getting a first look at the Netflix live action adaptation of Avatar: Last Airbender tomorrow or sometime very soon this coming week. Whoa.
Really?
Whoa. No Aang though, he says.
What?
That's interesting.
You can't.
Well, they're it sounds like it's in the world, just not about Aang.
Oh, different
Perhaps. Or
perspective.
just about benders. That would be cool
Gotcha.
if it was like during, but never see Aang, but it's like during those events. That's interesting. That's probably safe because animated characters never or do not do well being translated into live action.
I mean, just look at Last Airbender.
Dragon Ball, all of
Yeah.
them.
Mhm.
They just can't pull it off. So I think maybe it's smart that they veer away from Aang, at least himself, like just trying that way. It's not about let's make a live action Aang. I was responding to what version I was talking about. Oh, I gotcha. Makes sense. Do you know anything about this adaptation? I don't know anything about this adaptation. This is news to me.
Yeah, same.
Hot off the Derpy press. I feel like the Derpy press. It's like a Derpy delivery service. You could do some marketing there, some
You
branding.
could, Derpy. You've got some ideas. Roll with it, man.
Um, anyway, that's something to keep an eye on. I'll definitely be interested
Yeah,
in learn more about that.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, so Scott is in the Yule-Verse, and they kind of just go through doors traditionally, as you do in
Mm-hmm.
other dimensions. Lots of doors in other dimensions. That's just like a thing. That's how us humans like construct our interdimensional realities. Is everything's just separated by doors.
Yeah,
Um, Not
if
cool
only.
looking Santa portals. I don't know why that wasn't a thing. Just boring old doors.
Just doors.
No matter if it's the Matrix or I even
Narnia.
feel like Interstellar did that with like the windows and all that stuff.
Mm,
But yeah, so as he's going through, and I thought it was interesting that they refer to them as ethereal, like all the Santas before him, as he is the first Santa, as they kind of reveal um, all of this other Santas are ethereal. They were created, which I thought was interesting that
yeah.
they say that, they explain that, but they don't. Well, they say that and they use that information, but they don't explain it any further than
Oh,
that. Not that they need to, because it would be a completely different show if they did. But
because it was there to serve a purpose for Scott,
yes, correct.
not to go into this crazy, huge backstory of Santa Clauses and where they came from. And yeah,
And that's definitely on brand for a show like this. Like they had no business going any deeper than like the one lines we got for everything. Because like you said, it's for Scott. That's it.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if they would have been able to do the show any justice going that route, trying
No.
to dive into that.
Yeah. Maybe, and I think that was a tasteful decision to keep this episode like only deep enough to be interesting,
Mm-hmm.
right? And different, but
Yeah,
not like ruin it and get like overboard.
because it was done tastefully. Like
Yeah.
I was intrigued. I was into it, loved it. Um, but I didn't need any more. I didn't need them to go into this
Right.
crazy. I mean, they did take him to various points of history. You know, the Great Depression. Um,
That was sad.
it was, but it was to prove a point. You know, it was like it's about the giving. You know, so yeah, that was a very well done section of that episode.
Yeah. And
The black and white when he first got there, I thought that was really cool.
yeah,
Um,
and I even see that, it it was a homage to like It's a Wonderful Life,
mm,
right, as well.
yeah,
But then I also kind of felt a little um like Ebenezer Scrooge, like going through like the different, like showing him all these different events, these different
yep,
things. The Great Depression one was cool because it was like, they was giving out like oranges and just like simple things, just like
yep.
something to keep the children. And I like that other focus too. Like it's about the children, right? And like I think the one was one reference like the Dark Ages, right? So it's like
Yeah.
not a lot of good is going on during the Dark Ages, but like somehow you have to keep like the children
And they did
distracted
the
or
elves
out of
did
that.
make right. The elves did make some references to stuff like that. Like they kind of hinted at um darker moments like with the orb. Like when it got that dark before, this was not a good time, you know.
Right. Whoa. We have spotted Joe Cross, our ugly kid boy. But he says, I really need to watch this Santa Clauses thing. I'm so far behind because my wife just watches Hallmark movies all the time. You know what? I think you could convince her to take a break from the Hallmark movies. And this is a very tasteful
You
and
absolutely could.
fun diversion from those Hallmark movies. And then you can go right back to the Hallmark movies.
Yeah,
By
this
all
is
means, do it. But watch this because it's 6 like 30-minute episodes, and
it's so good, so easy to go through for sure.
yeah, it's going to do no one harm. And he says, and happy holidays to you too. Love the sweater, Nick. It's actually last year's like photo op pajamas, and they are Star Wars.
Yes. That's amazing.
I have matching pants, but I don't have the matching pants on because in typical Joe Cross fashion, I might not have any pants on. That's what he's going to say next, anyways. So would have been here earlier, but I was wrapping presents. That is very festive of you, Joe.
Yeah.
Wrapping presents. Whoa. That's my sister, I'm pretty sure. Just arrived. What movie are you talking about? We are talking about the new Tim Allen series on Disney Plus called The Santa Clauses, which is basically a sequel to the Santa Claus trilogy. Oh, who is this?
Who is this person?
Way, Mike Courtney. Oh, by the way, the Richards Christmas card arrived today. Wow, that's crazy. It got to people 50 miles away yesterday. So I don't know how it just got to you today, who lives 5 minutes from me. 5 miles and not 50.
Then you could have just driven it to him, so you would have gotten it quicker.
Mike corrects me and says Civ is the pantless one, but
I was gonna say that.
That is true. My bad. But Ugly Joe, he hangs out with Civ quite a bit on stream. I just feel like he's gonna start adopting those Civ habits. See, pants are redundant. That's what Joe says.
They really are.
And yes, dear sister, you do have to watch it, and it is okay for kids to watch too because it's about Santa Claus and it's Tim Allen.
It's totally
just like
a family show.
Yep,
it's safe.
Good old family show. We don't always talk about
we don't
R-rated things on this podcast. We talk about Star Wars and safe things. Oh dear, what has this become? Oh, Mike didn't check the mail yesterday, and my sister got my Christmas card as well. That my wife sends out. I have little to do with that other than sitting still and smiling and keeping the dog like still, right?
Hey,
that's usually my task.
That's some hard work right there.
Yeah. we got a little bit more creative with like how we convinced like one of those. It's like not selfie stick, but it's like a tripod, and it has like a little clicker button that tells your phone to take a picture. So that was revolutionary right there. Yeah. That's revolutionary tech. So I was like, it came with other things, and I think we're overthinking it. And I was like, can't we just like make the clicker button, like just tell the phone to take a picture? That's all we need. Like it doesn't need to connect to the tripod. It doesn't need to do anything else. Just this little remote just needs to go click,
click,
Bluetooth,
click,
take a picture.
Done. Simple.
Done. So yeah, we had a successful Christmas card this year.
Well done.
Better than the year prior. That one was a little bit more hectic and tougher. In time, we improve. Wow. That was a bum rush of comments about pants, Christmas cards, and pajamas.
Yeah.
But we got through it. Thank you, everyone, for the comments. And thank you for showing up. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone. To everyone. Even you, sad dad. Don't be sad this holiday season. Be unsad.
My tears are like glued to my face. I can't wipe them off.
The backstage context we will not reveal why dad is sad and has old teardrop tattoos on his cheeks.
I tried to get them removed, but they will not come off.
Got to get the laser out.
Therefore, I'm sad.
Therefore, I'm sad. I feel like you try to get them removed, they'll just leave scars, and then
it'll be even worse.
Even worse.
Scarred dad.
Just evolve the tattoo into something else to not be a tear.
Yeah, I could do that. Just have a picture of something on my face.
It's an ice cream sprinkle.
I'll turn it into the Showboys logo.
There you go. There you go. On your face.
That's dedication right there.
Wait, why do you have teardrop tattoos?
Because I'm sad.
Because he's sad. Because he's sad. And most of the time, people can't reveal why they have teardrop tattoos because they might go to jail,
Or get killed.
or get killed. Yeah, it's a touchy subject.
I can't. I can't disclose this information. I'm sorry, Nick's sister.
Nick's sister, Carrie. Man, what's Mike want? Why isn't he on here? Is he that sick?
You've got so much to say, but you can't show your face.
We don't like to talk about Dad's time in the pen.
No.
Or with the pen that drew the tattoo on his face.
You're giving away too much information, Nick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You need to stop right now.
Okay.
Oh,
You're about to have like an edited. Joe's gonna edit your face, and yeah, he's gonna enhance. You can't stop complaining.
oh, you were kind.
Oh man, that's gonna show up in Discord. Is your
Dad's
face like
face.
all the way zoomed in?
With
It's just like
giant tears.
but it's so zoomed in, it just looks like dirt.
Kids, man, gotta love them.
Kids, man. Now you're giving away too much information. Don't spoil it.
I think they heard me.
Here they come, markers and all.
Stomping down the stairs. We heard you.
More tears, more sadness.
More sadness. So sad. Oh man. So
The
Yule-Verse.
The Yule-Verse and Santa Claus.
Oh, I'm actually crying.
See?
Oh, that was good.
Nothing can stop you from being sad.
I'm sad all the time.
Tis the season for Dad to be sad. You're the most smiley, sad person ever.
It's fake.
It's fake. What's fake? The sadness or the smiling?
The smile. No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, Scott here,
who is not sad.
Who is not sad. Scott's not sad. If anything, he's like in a world of wonder and bewilderment about this whole Yule-Verse. I think he's more just fascinated with the fact that he's in a Yule-Verse and that he named it so quickly than he is like actually the characters. But also his one lines to these characters, like when he meets I believe Pape Noel, who is a French version of Santa Claus. He's like, I have so many questions, because he was a bishop or whichever have you. I'm not exactly sure on the like religious.
I think so. Catholic
denotation there. But yeah, like he's just mostly stunned. It's like, I have so many questions.
He's probably in awe of all these people in history. How could you not be? Because they all did amazing things with the time that they were in,
Yeah, and but he's also like in context of like a church too that he was part of. Yeah. But this character was a basically in French speaking regions was a folktale of a gift giver, Pierre Noel. So that is a nice little version of Santa Claus. And obviously, if I believe Scott must be at least historically inclined or religious and has a lot of questions for him. This very famous character. So that was one. He was fun too. And then I did like the fact that Krampus makes an appearance in here and is just kind of like lurking about, just like quietly snatching toys, right? And now I believe this is a Disney modification or maybe a more modern modification of Krampus where he's stealing toys from bad children versus like I think the original Krampus kidnapped, but there's also like a variation of like punished. I think it went punished, kidnapped, and now he just kind of snatches their toys. Because obviously being kidnapped children, that's
it says here that they modified for Disney's more family friendly
Yeah.
which makes sense.
He's just like quietly. And then, but I forget what version of like Krampus or what culture it was. But Krampus and Santa Claus was like a dual, like a team. They both showed up at the same time. One Santa obviously giving gifts to the good children, and Krampus would punish the bad children. So it's like a little double whammy on the household.
Yeah.
But I guess that could still work. Santa would just give everyone gifts, and then Krampus is just there to take them back. Doesn't seem very efficient.
What's Santa doing then? What's the point?
Santa's not really doing his job well if he's just giving bad, like naughty kids, presents for Krampus.
Yeah.
Like, does Krampus just need a job? So he made one up for him. It's like, here you go, buddy. Like, just take these presents away. There's empty boxes.
Eastern Alpine folklore of Europe.
Eastern Alpine. Let me think about that.
Central
like
and
Alps.
Eastern.
I'm gonna assume that means the Alps.
Yeah.
So okay, I got it.
In
so
Europe,
on the Austrian side, basically, not the French side, more on the Austrian German side. Then
there's some pretty crazy pictures of him.
Like, not from the show, like just in general.
Just because I'm just like looking through a little bit of backstory with him. I mean, that's terrifying.
In the show, he's just kind of like a man with like ram horns, but he's definitely in that whole like goat ram human hybrid situation, which is very folky. Lots of creatures like that in folklore. He's definitely a creature.
He's like a demon. It looks like.
Yeah, he definitely looks more like a demon, but I think that's just to be like scary and to punish and scare children, to be good children.
I would poop my pants if I saw this thing stealing my toys.
Actually, saw it on the internet, so it is for sure real, but it's this video of these parents. They're videotaping their kids. They have 2 sons, and I would say like probably 7 or 8, and then like 5 or 6, right? Somewhere in that age range. Anyway, they have someone show up to the house dressed up as the Grinch to come and take their toys.
Oh man.
But the oldest son, was not having it. He basically was fighting the Grinch. Like, he was screaming bloody child murder at the Grinch person that walked in, and was like fighting him until like not letting him take like it was not going as planned for the parents. And like the dad even like pulls the kid like aside to let like the Grinch take some presents, and the kid like
breaks away
and like is fighting, and like the Grinch has to like push like this kid off of him.
Wow.
He's like straight feral, and
that's crazy.
I need to find the video, I guess.
Good plan, parents. That was great.
Yeah, it wasn't good, and you could tell the dad was like, "Crap, this is
what did I just do?"
Yeah, terrible thing to do. I don't think you should do that, but it does make for some good internet content,
right?
But your kid just straight up fights because it's like staged as an intruder, right? Like the Grinch just showed up to snatch your presents, and this kid he's brave. He was not afraid of the Grinch.
What? Good for him, man. That's a lot of kids wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. And it was a scary Grinch too. Wasn't cheesy. We also get the fabled Saint Nicholas himself makes an appearance. And this is basically meant to represent the original Santa Claus. And Scott kind of gives some context here just for like his amazement, right? Like, he's kind of contextualizing who these characters are as they like come before him, and he's like, oh, his parents died, he became quite wealthy and gave all his money to help those in need. And that's kind of like where they leave it at. They don't give a ton of context in the show, and they don't really tie anything that happens in the show to anything religiously specifically, other than like the characters. Like, I don't really know if they say like Christian or Jesus or like really anything in the series. They keep all
No.
that kind of agnostic, and it's really just about the legend of Santa
Santa.
Claus.
Yep.
But the real Saint Nicholas was a Greek bishop
Mm.
um, who gave gifts to the needy, saved people, and just helped in general. So yeah, and there's definitely a bunch of other ones like in the background when they have like the bigger
Yeah.
scene when
Yep.
they're like finally convincing Scott that like there was a plan here, right?
Yep.
You were to be the first human because saving magic, get away from the whole Santa's like maid, and kind of create a less random lineage of Santa Clauses, which is interesting. I feel like the other way was working fine,
Yeah.
but maybe not. They needed something with changing times because like I think they cited like technology or something for Scott. What was it? Was it
I think it was
specifically tech?
tech.
That's
That
why they thought
sounds
they
right.
needed a human that better understood like what would make people happy or generate that Christmas spirit. Because Christmas
I,
spirit is a commodity in this world,
yeah. Yeah, and
measurable
like
commodity.
and that was a huge theme in this show was the tech,
Oh yeah,
especially with the bad Santa.
hmm the new Santa.
The new
He's not bad. He's just misguided.
misguided. Yeah.
Um, they even make a point of that because like I think that was Scott that was even like he's not bad like because his daughter was like, "Daddy, are you the bad guy?" Right, and
Yeah,
I
and
thought it was really important that they did not frame him as the bad guy. Like it's fine. He has made some mistakes.
he meant well, but
Yeah.
got caught up in it because he had his own desires and dreams that he wanted to fulfill,
hmm
and that just wasn't the right way to go about it because he was approaching it from a very like a business standpoint. Like that's not the way it's run, you know. It doesn't have to be um whenever you want it, you get it. It's not all the time, it's not right now, you know. Once
Yeah,
a
because
year.
the one elf, random elf that kind of made that point was like Christmas is supposed to be about like anticipation and
Right, right.
like waiting and like building up to that like that day. Like if it's every single day, what's the point? Um,
Right. I mean, it's kind of like going on vacation. Like you go to the beach, like you have that build up and anticipation of how amazing it is and that getaway. And this might be a weird comparison, but like if you were to live there all the time, it wouldn't be as special because it'd be
right. Yeah.
just it'd be your home. It'd be you do this all the time. What's so special about it?
Yeah. And I'll even make the comparison to like snow in the north here. There's plenty of people that have all their holidays like no snow, right? So when they see
Yeah.
snow, like obviously they're worried about it because they don't know how to drive in it, but also like it's cool. Like there's plenty of people that don't experience snow during the holidays or just ever, so
Yeah.
they're much
Yeah.
more amazed by it than maybe most Ohioans or people that live in Wisconsin that are just like all humbug, like not again.
Right. That's why like we're one of the most depressed states is because we have so much freaking snow and no sunshine.
Yeah, it's most of the sunshine. It's the clouds. The
It's
clouds
the
really get it down.
it's the clouds for sure. The big
Yeah,
clouds.
and the fact that we're like, man, here like we're like specifically like the Canton area. I feel like there's like small windows of the year where it's like, are we in Seattle? Like it's just like cloudy, rainy, and just damp.
Are we ever gonna see the sun again?
Is the sun coming out?
Is it coming back?
Is it coming back? Everyone take your vitamin D supplements. We have to artificially generate sun. Um, oh, and then I wanted to also talk about we'll go back to the tech thing. I do want to talk about the tech thing. That was cool. Um, but Bafana, the witch, right, that lives near the North Pole.
Hmm.
She's like an Italian folklore who was an older woman who delivered gifts on Epiphany, which was Three Kings Day, or also on January 6th. Um, Basically, like your classic witch that rides a broomstick and flies around. I thought that was cool. In that technically she is a variation of the idea of Santa Claus, right? It's just much like Father Christmas, right? Because sorry, not Father Christmas. Is it Father Christmas? There's a historical character or a folklore character that gets confused with Santa
Uh,
Claus, but like people have made a point that Father the Father one is not exactly Santa Claus,
oh yeah.
but same idea, where it's like a distinct not Santa Claus character that is doing very Santa Claus like things in terms of the giving, bringing gifts to children,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
like Father
Unrelated
Winter.
English folklore tradition. Father Christmas, yeah. I
Okay,
think
Father
I think
Christmas.
you think you're right.
Yeah, I think commonly depicted in like green instead of like a red, kind of like in a green, like more
Yeah.
woodsy kind of look, much like a Bafana here, who's kind of like a wood witch, a witch of the woods that the elves are terrified of. Um,
Yeah.
was she in prior movies? Was she
I
in like
don't
the Jack Frost one? I feel like because there was more like I don't quite remember like the second and third movie as well. But there was like one of those movies dealt with more of the like North Pole region because I remember they're like in the woods and stuff. But I
mhm.
can't remember if she's a brand new character entirely or if she was in one of the other movies.
I don't remember seeing her.
Okay.
I love their interaction though. Like they were kind of going back and forth. Like he was basically calling her a witch, and she's like, "No, no, no, not a witch." And then like kind of bring it back around to, so what'd you ride on? A
Yeah.
broom. And then
A witch,
a
not a
witch.
witch. A witch. Um, but yeah, I just really enjoyed that. And like you said, whether it was stepping into like the Great Depression or you know a church or
Yeah.
Krampus snatching gifts like that. It was just a cool abstract out of not the tomfoolery or the lightheartedness, like corniness that this show is, right?
Yeah, they did take a step out of that for a moment, but I think it's because, um,
But Nard's the goat,
yeah,
not the
um,
Krampus goat, but
not
like
the
the greatest elf of all time,
right,
um, the goat.
the goat. Um, yeah, I liked it.
I liked it. I
I
liked it.
liked it.
And back to the tech. The tech was cool, and I liked the nerd elf, the head nerd elf. Because while he was a big on science and the tech, he made it clear because he was like, I thought you could said it could run on just the tech. He's like, mostly the tech. You still need a
Mostly.
little bit of magic
Yep.
in there. And
Yep.
they didn't. I don't know. They didn't really capitalize on this as I thought they would. But when they were kind of like when he was like, there must be some other like source of like Christmas spirit in the North
Yeah.
Pole. And
Yep.
they go right to like his daughter in the room. They
Yep.
didn't really capitalize on that and they didn't really mention it, but like they basically alluded that like she was that last little bit of Christmas spirit. But I
Mm.
like that that was purely an audience like piece together and that wasn't like called out later on. Like I thought they were going to. And they were like, oh, she's like the last bit of Christmas spirit around here. It was kind of like just like an indirect imply, and they left it at that, which I thought was cool. But that was a nice little moment there because in the midst of like her dad losing his mind,
Yeah.
she's just like making her Christmas crafts and just being a child and
Yep.
full of spirit.
Yep. And I think that what you're talking about with her being the last little bit of hope, she when they're in the hallway, um, fighting over the coat, it's like that moment was like, oh yeah, okay, so that's what that means with her being that hope, is that she is like kind of bringing him back to reality, like because she's like, "Are you bad?" It
Right.
kind of snaps him out of it, and like he needed that little jab to kind of bring him back.
Not to mention their backstory is like ultra sad. Um,
Yeah,
Without it being like too sad and like going into it too much, but like just the general flashbacks and like that kind of stuff. And like like what was it, his best Christmas memory or whatever was like, or hers was like the Christmas after, where it was just like them.
yeah.
I was just like, dang, trying to cut deep here without like saying it, because they don't expose much of those details like explicitly. I think for like the sake of like children watching, to keep it just
Keep it
enough
light
for
enough.
adults to
Yeah,
pick it up,
yeah.
but for children not to be like completely distracted by that entire depressive situation.
I mean, yeah, I mean, because that's kind of rough, like. Sorry, I'm pouring a
Got the
drink.
Yeah. Um, but no, yeah. But that was a good, nice little backstory there. So that was Peyton Manning, right? Was the other one being interviewed? Yeah, that
Yeah,
was funny.
it was.
Mike would probably really laugh at me if he watched me or heard me like think through who that was. Like, I don't know, 100. I'm like 90% sure, but I was like, I know who that is, but like I'm 90% sure on the name, but I could get it wrong. But as long as I got it right, I thought that
He's
was
fun.
funny.
He's funny.
Yeah,
I was shocked when I saw that, but then I was like, it makes sense. Like,
he's like,
he,
you have to give me a note for my wife. Um,
right. He signs Knowles the back of his shirt,
yeah.
and Scott makes the jab that he doesn't think that the hat would fit his fat or big head.
Yep. And then the Brady comments were funny.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good time. I wasn't sure what they were gonna do there, like if they were gonna like kind of go through a
Use
bunch of people,
right.
or I mean, because they only went through two people. Does that mean that there were only two people that were good enough to potentially be Santa?
I took it as there were other ones, but they just had to have the real one for the sake of time, and then like the comedic,
Some, yeah,
famous cameo,
right,
right?
yeah.
So who knows? Probably Peyton Manning and Tim Allen are like best friends. Probably that's probably how they came together or something.
Well, his last show, Last Man Standing, was based in Denver,
Okay,
and I want to say that's where Manning lives. So I mean,
that
it's not outside of the impossible.
and that explains Scott's preference for. Well, wait, is Scott from New York or Chicago? Because they moved back to Chicago in the show, but I thought they were in New York in the first movie.
Oh,
Maybe not. Maybe it's always been
well,
Chicago. I was gonna
I
say
won't.
if he was from New York, that would explain the like preference for Brady over Manning, perhaps just geographical. But that was fun.
It was fun. And I don't think anything, including that, I'd say besides the extra-ness of the elves, I don't think anything was done over the top. Like, it was all pretty tasteful, I think.
The fight with the 10 guys was over the top for me.
Yes, that was over the top.
That hurt me.
Um,
But other than that, it's pretty on brand for like what it sets out to do. Just
yeah.
not having that like 90s like film filter and like delivery of the jokes. Like that's just the tough thing to always. It's just the first one, right? How do you redo or recapture the magic of that first Santa Claus movie? I think that's what my wife, is. I was like, do the other two movies do it? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, well then I wouldn't expect this to do it if they didn't pull it off in the last two movies. I
Yeah.
don't expect the show to, especially with Disney's track record, right? If they like pulled off like all 8 Marvel Star Wars series, I would be like, all right, maybe they could do it. But their track record tells me, we'll just roll with like the highlights from the second movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just roll with that.
Which if I'm being honest, I don't think I finished 2 or 3.
I've definitely seen them. They're not like embedded in my memory
Yeah, and I
because they're
or like
really generic with
pieces
just
and
like,
parts. Yeah.
yeah. There's like kind of like generic like Santa Claus North Pole stories, just that insert like Jack Frost or whatever the other problem was
Right.
in the other one. Though I did think it was weird, and kind of like in hindsight, it was like, well, duh, Scott, like you're not supposed to retire. He's only been doing it like 20 years, right? Like he's only Santa Claus for 20 years.
28.
28. So it's like, what makes him think like it's time for him to retire? You know what I mean? Like that was kind of premature. Just
I
like
think
just
it's
like they were trying to explain to him.
I think it's because he kind of felt like he was losing like his magic for one.
Don't be a quitter, bro.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I've never been Santa, so like I can't
I've never been
imagine I can't imagine that kind of stress of working all year to provide gifts for kids around the globe, you know?
Let's be honest. You show up to the North Pole for an interview, and they would actually take you down the hall to the head elf and be like, "So you want to make toys?"
Yes.
Yep, that's a short joke.
Hey,
Hey,
what do you gotta make short jokes for? Come on.
I'm sorry.
Short
Chad's not
dad.
here, so someone's got to do it.
Someone's gotta. Yep. All
Chad,
right.
Chad
All right.
and Mike aren't here. Usually Mike makes the short jokes at Chad or you. So Mike's not here, so I have to make short jokes. The only bad thing about that is I'm actually tall and he's not. So I
Right.
do feel bad for making short jokes as a tall person. Whereas Mike is like completely in the middle and just
Right.
thinks he can make fun of everyone. He's rude and mean. We're gonna
he's
get back on that narrative.
just a jerk.
He's a cruel jerk. Also a slave driver. He really kind of makes us work around here. It's unbelievable.
And I don't want to talk about it.
I know. That's why you're sad.
That's why I'm sad.
That's why he's sad.
Just like what he said earlier. Look at this. I laugh because it's the only way to hide the pain. It's true.
Yep.
That's how I get through my days.
The pain of all those mic requests. Oh, look. Answer the Boys has you edited by Joe.
No.
Jump in Discord right now. Hey, everybody. If you are in the Discord, definitely join the Discord. I will toss that up, head over to our link tree, and there's a link for you to join the Discord. But jump in there. Always tons of fun things going on. Even live reaction things like ugly kid Joe Cross making fun little paint edits of screenshots of dad's face crying, now icy blue tears. You got your eyes closed and everything. Like you look sad in that. That should be your new profile picture somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Speaking of Discord, do we have any Answer the Boys? Biosiv, I basically asked people if they've seen this. Biosiv doesn't even know what to say. I think that's because he doesn't celebrate Christmas. So he's taking a hard stance there, which I understand. Mike says, I haven't seen Santa Clauses, but I wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
But you're still not getting any kind of break over the holidays.
Yeah. He never watched the show. That's sad. Has he not seen the show? I'm curious. Has he not seen has he not seen the movies? He's had to have seen I
At
bet he
least
hasn't
one.
seen it. I bet he hasn't seen anything of related to this. He's that person.
That's why he didn't want to be on tonight.
What a loser. General confusion about who was running the episode. And then I retired. I'm retiring from the podcast.
And I said, "Wait, there's a podcast tonight?"
Yep, that's why I retired. I'm done. I'm done with you all.
Oh,
Guys are the worst. Absolute worst. I just rather play Valheim, really, and Red Dead Redemption. I'd rather not, It's other things I could be doing than hanging out with cruel folk.
I didn't mean to do that.
You didn't do anything. I didn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the Santa Claus series. We like it. Don't take it too seriously. Don't think
No.
it's gonna blow your mind
It's not.
or impress you in any way or get a critically well received review. It's just good Santa Claus when Christmas time fun. With what I would say is a nice splash of different, right? They do some different things in it for sure.
And still better than any Hallmark movie I've seen.
Still better than any Hallmark movie because I wouldn't even really watch a Hallmark movie, but I will watch the Santa Claus because it's fun.
Either.
And as Jordan says, Tim Allen is a national treasure.
That's right. National treasure, ladies and gentlemen.
He is a gem of a gem. And I do believe we have a response. Just a quick note from Jordan on this series because he's watched it. He's a huge fan of Tim Allen, Santa Claus, Christmas all that
in general.
Stuff.
Yep.
In general, yeah, he's a massive fan.
I'm pretty sure all year round his house is decorated for Christmas.
Yeah, I mean I've seen his Christmas tree up from October to June. I'm pretty sure.
October to August.
Yeah,
he's got a month break.
takes it down to put it for the sake of putting it back up because that's fun too.
Yes.
He loved this series, and they honor Christmas for what it is, a Christian holiday. They don't ignore it and they don't belabor it. And as always, he likes and thinks it stands against current cultural shifts to defame Santa Claus.
In
his words, woke.
Word.
That's Jordan's opinion, right? We value Jordan's opinion, but
yes,
he really should have led with. That's why I'm saying it from his Twitter. Is Tim Allen's a national treasure? That's the better recap. That's the better cap on it.
As Tim Allen said in the show, you should have led with that.
Yeah, everyone kind of. And then they said that to him.
Right, you should have led.
Elves are disappearing. You should have led with that. Instead, dragged them all through the Yule-Verse.
Right.
Just pointless exhibition because could have led with that.
Right.
Could have led with a lot of things.
Yeah, that was a good one. I recommend it.
I recommend it too. It's a nice. I like that it's short. I like that it's short. It's not. It's not 6 1-hour episodes. It's 6 30-minute episodes. That's even better. It's short.
3 hours, man.
3 hours. It's basically just an extended movie.
Yeah, basically.
It's a movie with more exposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Little bit more care and love. And maybe that's why it is better than the last two movies because it has more room to have fun and do stuff.
And
instead
they
of
did
beeline it from one plot point. All right, hour and a half later, it's all okay. Whatever.
Right. Yep.
Guy, girl, holidays. I think that's usually the plot.
And the guy's Santa's kid or something.
No, I can't even tell you if I've seen a Hallmark movie.
Something about a guy and a girl. And it's Christmas time.
Yep. Those guy and a girl.
Guy and a girl.
But yeah. What else could we talk about?
Did you say you got all your Christmas presents wrapped? Yes.
They're all wrapped. Yep. I didn't wrap them. My wife wraps them.
That's right. And you loaded them into the truck.
Yep. They are ready to go.
Nice.
We'll be shipping out after I get my haircut tomorrow morning. Hopefully my barber is able to make it into the shop. All the ice and snow.
Your hair is gonna be frozen.
I might have to text him.
You're gonna be Jack Frost.
Wait, why is he gonna be frozen?
We're gonna call you Nick Frost. I don't know. It just sounded right.
Okay. Yeah, Nick Frost.
Nick Frost.
With my presents to deliver to my family. All the presents. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be as bad as people think it's gonna be. I just hope it's gonna be fun. Yes, Ugly Kid Joe Cross. Frosted tips. Frosted tips. That's what I'm gonna get tomorrow.
Yes.
White frosted tips.
I expect to see you next week with frosted tips.
I was thinking to go like shorter, so if it's gonna go that short, I might as well get the tops frosted. A little bit in here too.
Have some down here. Because why not?
Because why not?
That should be a shirt. Because why not?
He says, "I will literally die if you frost your tips."
I will too.
I don't know if I could do it, but I don't know. I want to see what the definition of ugly kid Joe Cross dying is. I don't think it's like literal dying, but the hardest roll on the floor laughing ever.
Yeah.
Just crying into like the camera.
Tears.
He actually he goes live for his game stream, but it's really just him crying of laughter for an hour and a half as he looks at a picture of me with frosted tips.
Yep. His reaction video. Yeah.
It's actually, everyone, we're not playing a video game today. We are going to do a reaction video
to Nick's frosted tips.
And that trend gets restarted because of that.
Because of you.
Yep. Because of Joe. Because he suggested it.
Yeah, because of Joe. Thanks, Joe, for the trend.
Thank you, Joe. Because he just wants it to come back so he can frost his tips.
Yeah. I'd probably do it too.
Speaking of frosted tips, that's all we have to talk about for tonight.
It is.
Santa Claus is a double thumbs up from Dad.
Yes.
Even though he's sad, he still gives it 2 thumbs up. What are you gonna do? But yeah, head over to showboysmedia.com, check out everything we have going on. Jump in the Discord, sign up to the Patreon, get hype for definitely what we're doing in March. That will be fun. Coming up next week, I believe we're doing our end of year recap episode.
Yep.
So we will be looking back on another year of Showboys entertainment for you all, and talk about our favorite episodes, favorite topics, our favorite commenters, right? That'd probably be a good one. Like, who gets the top commenter of the year award? And last but not least, we cannot not mention, I don't have it handy, but we want to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes.
And I have an OLED Switch somewhere in my possession for us to give away.
You didn't wrap that by accident, did you?
No, definitely not. I'll have to check after this though, just to make sure. It's just
how terrible.
Accidentally wrapped it and accidentally gave it to one of my nephews.
You have to make a drive back up there. Sorry, I gotta give this away to someone else, or you just have to buy another one.
No, it's not in the budget.
Nope, not in the budget.
Not in the budget. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We will see you before the new year. So don't you fret. We'll be back next week.
No tears.
And until then, no sad tears this holiday weekend. Enjoy your Christmas without tears and sadness, just tears of joy. That's it.
Yes.
Or I guess tears if Krampus shows up and punishes you for being naughty. I guess those are the only acceptable tears.
That's no good.
If so, live stream that so everyone can see that live on the internet. While embarrassing, we want to see Krampus.
Yes.
No one's looking at you get punished. We're looking.
No one cares about you. We want to see Krampus.
We want to see Krampus in action. He's not camera shy. Santa is.
It's true. It's very true. Yes.
All right. Well, adios, amigos.
Bye.
Where's? Oh yeah, that's what happens. See, I'm not supposed to do this. This is like yours or Mike's job.
I was gonna try and show that picture that Joe so thoughtfully, graciously made, but I cannot find it.
It's an Answer the Boys in our Discord server.
There's what? Where's Answer? There's Ask.
Yeah, it's right below Ask.
That's not there. It disappeared.
Well, that's not good. What kind of show you running around here?
I don't know. I'm new.